Hey. Okay. So, I kept a lot of these little tidbits of information that I learned over my athletic training career through basketball and everything. I kind of kept all this stuff a secret. And I'd let tidbits of this information out to my friends, but some of my friends, everybody wants to find their own path, all right? Even from my little brother, who barely would take a hint of advice from me, who's study and do these methodologies and training, and to my roommates, and then I get calls from them later, hey man, it sounds to me like you were doing the things right, things like that. I'm not trying to call any of them out. I do appreciate the honest conversations. So, but if you do share things with me and you don't tell me not to tell some people on that note, I'm going to use it as example to help build this business or the strength of these lectures. So the thing that I want to talk about is kind of where the whole athletic training field is moving. In biology, you quickly learned about the body through diagrams and stuff like that. They show you, oh, this muscle and it pulls and it does this, and it's like this robotic one piece moving at a time system, and that's not necessarily the case anymore. What they're finding is that the body is made all in continuity within itself. Structures from the fingers are linking all the way into the core structures. The big toes are linking all the way into the hips and things like that. And so this is where the professional field is moving. Some people have these things at a very natural capacity, and other people work on them. I think I weight trained more of the traditional methods, but thank goodness for my want to be fast and to jump high, because that kept me actively doing plyometrics and athletic style movements, and I wanted to always be able to do wall flips and different things like that. So that kind of probably kept my fascial systems integrated well. And but I would say that some of the lifting and things like that maybe actually caused more impedances than it did actually help my performance. So there's actually kind of a nice blend that has to be there. And so anyways, I'm gonna actually show you through a laptop diagrams, because I didn't want to make a slideshow. My idea is I'm gonna make these YouTubes, and I don't want to sit here and edit hours and hours of content so that way it looks pretty for you. If you guys want this information, just listen to the information and take it. Okay, so for example, you see here there are tons of these systems with interconnecting chains, like you see here, like these lat, glute, and hamstrings. That's a connection. Like these cross connecting muscle patterns, this through the posterior chains and things like that. Oh man, I wish I had a touch screen, but I don't. Oh, let me creep you out. Look at this. The tongue. Did you guys know that the tongue connects all the way to the toes? Right? See, there's the diaphragm, and then there's this popliteus, that's behind the knee. And then these go all the way down into your tibia, and then through your feet and stuff like that. You see that? Okay. So now, you can see the importance of integrating the whole body as one unit when you're making movements. And you can see how just in that, the tongue to the toe, head to toe. The tongue through the diaphragm to the toe. So, I mean, your breathing and everything can influence your athletic performance. And so, for example, if I'm let me pull up the diagram here. Thanks for your patience. So, you can see the one where it shows the lats and the glutes. That's the one I'm going to use just as an example, right here. You see that? It's lats and glutes right there. So like if I'm a bodybuilder, right, and I'm like pull up, squat, deadlift, I'm gonna be like very like bound up in these areas, right? These glutes and stuff like that. And so what's gonna happen is I'm gonna need tools. I'm gonna need like manual release, and I've done this. I've run this route tons and tons of times. You either need the cost of a professional, or you need to actually sit and lay on like lacrosse balls, roll it out, and things like that. What people are also forgetting to like consider is that some of these carry emotion, and so sometimes when you're like rolling out the bottoms of the feet, rolling out these things, and you're like like it's gonna refuse to release. You have to have like a sort of calm mind integrated into this idea that it is okay to release, you know, that it's okay, you know. It's like having like an insecure girlfriend, like, oh, she means the world to you, but you know that she's been cheated on. But you're gonna have to accept that in the fact of it, and just be like, okay, like I'm gonna have to pin her my location. I'm gonna have to tell her she's beautiful all the time and things like that. A small price to pay, right? And the same with this. You're gonna need to like communicate nicely to this, and you're gonna have to like talk it into, you know, like being itself. You're gonna have to talk it into being itself. And so you can either chase like hundreds of different like methodologies, but what I have found is that it's best to stay into like a natural principle. Since you're born as a human being, there are certain habits that are innate to human beings, certain resting postures that are innate to human beings, and I'm gonna display a couple. So if I'm in a position like here, this is a very good rested position, you know. It's very close to like a fetal type position, and then everything in the body opens up, you know, like a flower would, or things like that. Another one, okay, this is tight. Remember the tongue all the way to the toe, you know, very natural position. This is very natural, very natural. So instead of sitting there and just being like, oh, I've gotten so buff to a point where now like I need an army of men to help me just sustain myself. There's no real warrior of history that they would say, hey, you know what, he was the greatest warrior of all time, but he needed 30 other people just to help keep him in one piece. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to go into is I'm going to now promote what we've been working on, and it's this methodology of the 7 postures. The book will be released December 29th, but it will teach you how to integrate your fascia systems all at one time. So like, for example, this is the camel sit, right? Boom. Huh. And look, this forms the shape of running, and boom, into the next one. Boom, into the next one. See? And so what we're doing here is we're creating shapes, we're creating opportunity to release, to sit and talk to our insecure girlfriend type thing, you know, and allow it just to cooperate with us and release. And so that's all I'm gonna really talk about on that note. Go check out the 7 postures.